Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 Volvo EX30. This is the twin motor Performance Ultra. It is finished off in moss yellow, and the MSRP starts just over $48,000. Now this is a fully electric, smaller size SUV from Volvo, powered by a 69 kilowatt lithium ion battery, along with dual motors. It's also paired to a single speed transmission, pumps out 422 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. It is all-wheel drive. It weighs in around 4,100 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Top speed is 112 miles an hour. And as far as total range goes, you're looking right around 253 miles. With a fast charger, it can charge in around 26 minutes. With a level 2 charger, you are looking at closer to 8 hours. It also has a wheelbase of 104.3 inches. Its overall length is 166.7. It has a width of 72.3, a height of 61.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 6.5 inches. Now, as we start up front, you'll notice it has a pretty minimalistic amount of features up front. There's the iconic Volvo badge along with the cross running through it there, and then a forward-facing camera. Now, this also has LEDs for all of the lighting. You'll notice the gloss black trim accent that goes from headlight to headlight, and then there's parking sensors, more cutouts, and a sensor in that lower section. You'll notice too that there's no cutouts in what would be the grille, so it's just all body colored there, giving it a really cool, unique design. Now, since this is also an EV, you'll notice up front you have a very small compartment where you could place some items if needed, and then you have access to a few other components as well. As we work our way to the side, you'll notice the unique design for these wheels, where this also has regenerative braking, of course. You'll notice more of the plastic in the lower side skirt, which matches the front bumper there. And then there's also the power folding side mirrors, which have a turn signal. They're finished off in gloss black to match the window trim, and the rest of the upper section. You'll notice the whole roof is finished off in gloss black, and it also has a full moon roof as well, running the length of that roof. You'll notice too some really nice designs in the lower section of the door, along with the fender arches, both front and rear. There's also the EX30 badge on the trim accent right there. And then in back, you'll notice the gloss black spoiler along with a third brake light. There's a wiper blade in the lower section, and then LEDs for the lighting, where you'll see there's a nice ovalish design for that trim accent that runs through the power liftgate there. There's also a backup camera and all of the parking sensors in that lower section. And then to gain access to the cargo space, you can just push on that hidden button right in the middle, and that will open up the power liftgate, where you have a good bit of space for this smaller size vehicle. Now you can lift up the floor, where as you can see I have the charging cable right there at the moment, but you can place in some other items as needed. You can remove this and you can fold down the back seats to get a little bit more space. And then there's one button up top just to close that lift gate. As we make our way to the interior now, you'll notice the door panel has a really unique design to it. There's this trim accent leading its way to the release handle, and then you have this floating design for the grab handle and armrest with a little bit of storage, and this color matched material on the door panel, which matches the seats very nicely. Now with these seats, you can also pull on this button right here, and that's how you can fold the seat down to gain access to the space in the back. You'll also notice too, there's a small storage bin between the seat and the door sill itself. Now, as we hop in back, it is a small vehicle, so at 5'10", I still have a good bit of space. You'll notice there's storage pockets on both sides. You get USB-Cs, and then the window controls are located in the middle, so you can easily use those. You'll notice too, there's a cutout right in the middle where you could actually remove this tray if you wanted to and place some items there. And then at my height, I have maybe 2 inches or so of headroom, so it's a small vehicle, but I could ride around town and be comfortable. And then you'll notice too, the full moon roof, there's no shade or anything, so it is just one piece of fixed glass. And then as we work our way up front, this is the only door handle that has the proximity sensor to it, so you can swipe on that to lock it, you can grab the door handle to unlock it, or you can just use this key card here. So you can place it right there to unlock or lock the vehicle. So you have several different ways that you can do it, and of course if I take a step back and then go up and grab the door handle, it will reset and unlock. So that is what you have for this model here. The door panel up front is exactly like the rear with the same trim accents, more storage, but you'll notice no controls either for the entire door panel, so we'll show those here soon. And then same design for the front seats. Now what's interesting with these seats is that you have this control down here. You can use this to, of course, do the recline and incline, and then move the seat forwards and backwards. And then if you push on the middle of it, that will change to adjust the height of the seat there. as you can slowly see that move. So you do have to push it because none of the other controls will work until you push on it, and now you can go back to the rest of those. So it's a multi-purpose button there, which is neat to see. Now as we hop in this Volvo, you'll notice we have a unique design for the steering wheel. You have cruise control settings on this left side, and then the right side there's volume and tuning. You have your gear selector on this stalk here, and then wiper blades, turn signal, and your headlights on the left. And that is it. There's a sensor here to make sure you're paying attention. There's no gauge cluster, there's no head-up display. As you can tell, there's a vent on this driver's side with a unique trim accent, and then a very large dash, where this also has the Harman Kardon audio. So with this Volvo, everything is going to be in the infotainment system. There's also no push button or anything. So as soon as you sit in this vehicle, it feels your weight, then the vehicle is on and ready to go. Something I'm not quite getting used to yet, I do like having a push button so you can actually turn the vehicle on and off. But with the infotainment system, as you can tell right now, we have exterior lighting, your mirror controls too. So in order to adjust the side view mirrors, you have to push on left or right, and then you can use the controls on the right side of the steering wheel to go up, down, left, and right. So you have to do that. There's your ambient lighting. You have a glove box located right in the middle. So you do have to push on that button in order to activate that. You have a trunk button. There's also one pedal driving. And then in your home screen here, you can pull up the map, look at your audio and phone. There's some adjustments in the lower section where you can get into the Play Store, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, even pull up the camera system here. So you have that 360 view where you can look at specific angles as well. So you have plenty of visibility around the vehicle. And then the lower section is fixed. So we're on home right now. If you push on the 4 squares, you can bring up these icons. You can also get into volume, and then you can get into your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and temperature adjustments. You push the control in the middle, that is how you sync them. And then the one to the right is for all the climates, so you can go through all this. And then you have the vehicle button, which is what you just saw. Now you can also get into your car status and your settings too. So you can go through all of this depending on what you need to see, and then hazards is on that far left. You also have some notifications as needed. You'll notice an air vent on both sides of that, some more of that trim accent there. And then you get wireless charging down below, and you have this storage bin that you can open up where it reveals some more USB-Cs. So you have that storage in addition to this with the floating design for the cup holders up top. And then you'll notice the window controls in the middle. Now you have the front windows at the moment, and then if you push on rear, that's how they are now activated for the rear windows. You have lock and unlock beside that. This is fixed, so there's no storage underneath this armrest area here. And then there's no glove box on your passenger side. It's just located right in the middle. And then you have the rear view mirror, and then some dome lights up top along with hazards, a talk button there, and then the fixed glass, like I mentioned earlier. And then here's a look at visibility. You still have some pretty large windows to be able to see over the left side and the right side. As we set up behind the wheel for this new EX30, this is the first model for the United States for this version, and it's only going to come with the twin motor from what I've seen. There is a single motor, but I think that is going to be available in different markets. So for this newest version here, it's been a really nice vehicle to drive around. I don't have any complaints with how it drives. It's very comfortable, pretty refined feeling for its price too. All the materials feel very nice. It's been super enjoyable to drive. The only downsides that I see to this are some things that you see, or from what I'm used to growing up with in normal vehicles. Push button, there's no push button for this, even though it is an EV. I think that would be really nice to see. This vehicle does not completely shut off until you exit and lock the vehicle. So in some situations where maybe you're in your driveway, your garage, somewhere like that, you have to physically exit the vehicle and lock it for it to completely shut down. It would be nice just to be able to push a button and do that, because sometimes you just don't want it on and running. I think that's a little bit of a miss not having that. But I will say, with all the controls being in the screen here, it's actually pretty easy to use. And if I wanted to get into the climates, they are actually going to stay up. I've been in some other vehicles where this will disappear and go back to the home screen. So there's some nice user interface with this system with having a very minimal amount of controls. I guess the only other thing would be an actual gauge cluster or even a head-up display for that matter. But you have everything in the middle. Little hard to get used to that. If you've been in some other EV models, they really only have the center screen. I guess my last point, and I'm not trying to knock on this car, but it would be nice to have a sunshade. It's very hot today. I want a little bit more shade from the sun coming through the top. Aside from that though, it is very nice. It is a small vehicle, so if you're not looking for something large, it's packaged very nicely for its size. I could easily ride around town and be in the back. It's a nice compact SUV for those looking for a smaller size vehicle. So something really good in the city, just some smaller parking lots, maneuvering, things like that. And it's been a comfortable vehicle aside from what I just mentioned, and that could be a personal preference, just something to get used to. It's not something I'm used to. So if I wanted this vehicle, obviously you would get used to some of those things, of course. But it's nice. A lot of storage space for this vehicle too. And it's also pretty quick. Now there's no driving modes for this in terms of sport mode or things like that. So you just mash the throttle and you can get up and scoot. It's a pretty good amount of power for this. So straight line performance, you're in sports car, supercar territory, which is impressive to see, especially for its weight. So you have a lot of get up and go to this model. So power is definitely adequate for it. And the charging seems to be something that's on the higher side as well. 253 miles or so on the range, pretty adequate for this. And its charging time can be very quick depending on the chargers that you have. So I think in terms of the battery, the motors, the performance that you get with both the on-road and the charging, it's definitely a great option to go with. Handles pretty well too for some of these turns, which is nice. It's a small vehicle, so it's going to be very nimble. And so now let's give it an acceleration, pedal to the floor. Woo, wow. Yeah, this is definitely a quick vehicle. Crazy to see that for a small, basically crossover SUV, but if you want to get up to speed, you just got to mash your right foot down. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for this EX30. As you can tell, it has a much different design to the dash to it compared to what I'll call a normal vehicle, but it has a really nice layered design to it. Side mirrors are also a little bit different. They take some getting used to, but they have plenty of space there to be able to see around you. Visibility is pretty good overall, and it has a really nice comfortable seating position to it. So if you're looking for, I'd say more of a city vehicle, in my perspective, EVs are great around the city. Yes, you can travel with them, you just have to figure out your stopping and everything like that. So whatever works best for you, obviously. To me, it's a better city vehicle because you don't have to worry about the range if you're just going a few miles here and there or just driving around like I have. I'm at about 53% right now. I'll plug it in. I just have a normal 3-prong outlet since I don't own any EVs, so it takes a little bit of time to charge overnight and things like that. But if you have a level 2 charger or a fast charger or something like that, you can charge it overnight and be ready to go the next day. So it would make for a great daily driver. You know, if you're looking for a small vehicle, something to commute, maybe short distances with, I can see this being a really nice model to go with. And if you're looking for that EV route for under 50 grand, it's a really good option to go with for the tech features and everything that it has to offer. So that is going to wrap it up for the EX30. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.